Hello everyone. My name is Luca Campatelli. My edX username is lucac_8. And my GitHub username is luke582-dev. I'm recording this presentation in 5 November 2025. And today I will talk about a major cybersecurity incident that happened in May 2024, the Ticketmaster data breach. I chose this topic because it clearly shows how even big, trusted companies can fail to protect user data when simple security practices are not followed. This case connects perfectly with what we studied in this course: authentication, encryption, data privacy, and secure design principles. Let's begin by understanding what exactly happened. Before diving into the technical aspects, it's important to remember that cybersecurity incidents like this are not just about computers or code, they affect real people. When companies lose user data, it can lead to emotional stress, financial loss, and a loss of trust that takes years to rebuild. In May 2024, attackers managed to steal data from Ticketmaster's cloud servers. Millions of users were affected all around the world. The stolen information included names, emails, phone numbers, ticket details, and even partial payment information. While not all the financial data was exposed, this personal information could still be used in phishing attacks or identity theft. After the incident, the data appeared on online forums where cybercriminals often try to sell stolen information. This created panic among users and damaged Ticketmaster's reputation. It's a perfect example of how quickly a security failure can turn into a privacy disaster. To give you a better idea, think about how much personal data you share when you buy concert tickets: your name, email, payment method, maybe even your location. Losing that information to the wrong hands could mean thousands of people receiving fake refund emails or scam messages pretending to be from Ticketmaster. Now let's see how the attackers actually got in. They used stolen employee credentials to access the company's cloud environment. Because there was no multi-factor authentication, those credentials alone were enough to enter. This means that if someone knew the username and password, they could log in without any extra verification step. Another problem was that the system had no IP restrictions or network filters. The attackers could connect from anywhere in the world without being blocked. Once inside, they quietly copied the data without being noticed. This part of the attack shows how missing basic security controls like MFA and restricted access can make even advanced systems completely vulnerable. Imagine locking the front door of your house but leaving a wide open window. That's what happened here. The company had good infrastructure, but the simplest controls were missing, so even a small breach could lead to huge consequences. This example also shows why security awareness among employees is essential, since stolen credentials are often the first step in many modern cyber attacks. When we analyze this incident, we can see multiple layers of failure. The first issue was weak authentication. Depending only on passwords is never safe anymore. The second was poor monitoring. Ticketmaster didn't have an efficient system to detect unusual activity, like large data transfers. And the third problem was incomplete encryption. Not all sensitive data was properly protected, which made it easier for attackers to read once they gained access. So, the problem wasn't just about technology, it was about configuration and attention. Having advanced systems doesn't help if they are not configured and monitored correctly. This is a common mistake that many companies still make today. Many organizations believe that buying expensive cybersecurity tools automatically makes them safe. But as this case shows, security depends on how these tools are configured, updated, and maintained, not on how expensive they are. In other words, the weakest point is often not the software, but the human decisions behind it. Now, let's talk about the technologies that played a role in this case. The first one is cloud storage, which was hosted on a third-party platform. Cloud systems offer flexibility and scalability, but they require careful configuration. The second is credential-based authentication, a system that depends on usernames and passwords. If those credentials are stolen or reused, it's an open door for attackers. The third one is encryption and access control, which are supposed to keep the data secure. But in this incident, encryption was not consistently applied. Finally, there were threat detection and logging systems that should have alerted the company, but they either failed or weren't set up properly. This shows that technology alone doesn't guarantee security. What matters is how it's used. From this attack, we can learn several important lessons. First, always enable multi-factor authentication. It's one of the simplest and most effective ways to stop unauthorized access. Second, always encrypt all sensitive information, both when it's stored and when it's being transmitted. Third, apply the principle of least privilege, meaning users should only have access to what they really need. And finally, monitor continuously. Use alerts and logs to detect suspicious activity early. If Ticketmaster had followed these 4 simple steps, the damage could have been avoided or at least minimized. Good cybersecurity is not about reacting fast. It's about being proactive and ready before something happens. It's also about creating a culture where everyone in the company understands that security is part of their job. From the developers writing code to the managers approving budgets, everyone has a role in protecting data. Cybersecurity is teamwork and only works if everyone is aware and responsible. This case is deeply connected to the main ideas we studied in this course. We learned about authentication, which includes multi-factor systems, and how passwords alone are never enough. We discussed encryption, which should protect data at all stages, in transit and at rest. We also explored the importance of data privacy, access control, and secure design. The Ticketmaster breach is a real-world example of what happens when these principles are ignored. It's not just theory, it's a reminder that the concepts we studied have a direct impact on how secure real systems are. Understanding these connections helps us apply classroom knowledge to real professional situations. Studying cases like this also helps us think like attackers, to anticipate what could go wrong before it happens. It turns learning into a form of defense, and that's what makes this field both challenging and fascinating. To conclude, the Ticketmaster breach teaches us a very important lesson. Human error and weak configuration can break even the strongest technology. Security is not just about using the right tools, it's about using them correctly and consistently. This event shows how easily one small weakness, like a missing authentication layer, can grow into a massive privacy issue affecting millions of people. It reminds us that cybersecurity is not a one-time task. It's a continuous process that requires constant awareness and responsibility. Thank you for listening, and I hope this presentation helps you see how theoretical cybersecurity principles directly apply to the real world.